I really think you've got to use cash around very young children. Because the problem is, money is extremely mysterious to a child. It's only magnified, the mystery is magnified by the fact that they see money spitting out of a machine with an ATM,
Hmm.
or they see their parents waving a phone over a point of sale machine, or obviously using a credit card.
What makes you, or what makes anybody in this room a good director?
They ask questions. I feel very strongly about that. Great directors, and I worked really hard on this. I always say I want to go to every board meeting with two original questions. In a boardroom, making statements puts people on the defensive, especially if they feel somehow you're, finger wagging or suggesting you know better. You're dropping in maybe 4 or 5 times a year, and the people there are there every single day. You don't presume that you know better. And in asking the question, oftentimes, first of all, it's not the first question that matters, it's the follow up.
Guys, and I tell you, so many people have hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, and my YouTube comments here on my YouTube channel about rumors that are going around. They are spreading like wildfire that Mellody Hobson, okay, yes, the Mellody Hobson, great financial woman, okay, businesswoman. She's from Chicago. She was a child. She was one of 6 children raised by a single mother on the south side of Chicago. Made it up out the hood, got educated, and now she's like this huge financial businesswoman. Okay, I believe she's a billionaire. And if she's not a billionaire, her husband, the George Lucas. Just remember George Lucas. Who's George Lucas? I am your father. Okay, Darth Vader, Star Wars. Okay, him, incredible filmmaker, billionaire himself. They are married. They have a daughter. And I ain't gonna lie, the wheels started turning in my head months ago. It was like 2 months ago when I saw her sitting courtside with her husband, George Lucas, at a Chicago Sky game. And people even said, like, you can actually see her kind of speaking towards Angel Reese. Okay, she was speaking with Angel Reese. And people was like, And even I said, But now, guys, more and more rumors are swirling around that Mellody Hobson is trying to acquire, if not that, be the majority owner of the Chicago Sky. And I ain't gonna lie, I am here for it. I would love that. I would love that so much. I know that, she actually, this is not her first sports investments. Again, I'm going to get into that later on in this video. But again, Mellody Hobson is a very intelligent, very capable businesswoman, okay? And she would be a huge asset if she were to actually acquire the Chicago Sky. If not that, just become the majority owner. Because it's clear like the current owner, Michael, I believe his name is Michael Alter. He's a huge real estate tycoon in Chicago, worth billions of dollars as well. Again, people are speculating and saying like he does not really have that passion for women's basketball or basketball period. Okay, he's just a huge real estate tycoon, and the Chicago Sky was just something for him to do, right? It was like a little charity project for him. It was like a little tax write off for him. But he did like his heart is not really into investing in and pouring into this baby being the Chicago Sky. So let me give you a quick summary on Mellody Hobson and like the whole rundown of her trying to acquire the Chicago Sky. So it reads, Mellody Hobson is reportedly in discussion to acquire the WNBA Chicago Sky and is a prominent figure in the world of finance and sports, known for her leadership at Ariel Investments and her significant investments in women's sports. In addition to the Sky, she is an owner of the Denver Broncos and has supported the Chicago White Sox and the growth of women's sports through her investments. So this is the reported interest. So it says in early October of 2025, reports emerged that Mellody Hobson was in negotiations to acquire the Chicago Sky, a move that would place her in a leadership position with the team. The motivation? Hobson stated that she believes in sports' power to inspire and unite communities and wants to nurture the Sky's vision on and off the court. I'm the same way. Like the thing that like draws me to sports and why I'm a sports fan, not just women's basketball, but just last night I was watching the NFL game. I ain't gonna lie, okay? It's okay if you like the Kansas City Chiefs. It's okay if you like Travis Kelce. It's okay if you like Patrick Mahomes. It is not okay if you like Taylor Swift, okay? Only half joking. But last night I hate watched the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I was rooting for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, they did it. Okay, they completed the mission. They got the job done. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, shout out to Travis Hunter. Even shout out to Trevor Lawrence. Okay, the quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was getting on my nerves. He was getting on my nerves. How dare you fall backwards and like try to hobble your way into the touchdown and finally get it? How dare he have that terrible pass? He literally threw that turnover was so ridiculous. He was giving Dana Evans. He literally threw the ball. He chucked that ball straight to the Kansas City Chiefs. I was so through with Trevor Lawrence. And then he had the nerves to be on camera picking his nose. I'm like, what is wrong with this man? But they got it done. Again, I just love that the culture of sports. I like how it brings people together. Okay, it gives you hope, it gives you inspiration, it gives us entertainment, it gives us strength, it gives us somewhat identity, right? It's cultural, but at the same time, of course, sports also has the power to rip people apart and cause division. Okay, but it only sucks when it's like it gets violent. Okay, people start fighting and fist fighting because they team got beat by another team, and people starting like name calling. It don't gotta go that far. Okay, again, even though your favorite team, sports team, your player loses, whatever, you always have to show sportsmanship, not only as the players but as the fans. Okay, it's never okay to like punch people in the face and like insult them like very aggressively, or like seriously. Of course, it's gonna be some trash talking. All is fair in love in the game of love and war, in the game of football, basketball, baseball, tennis, etc., etc. But when it gets to like disrespecting people verbally and then physically, using aggression, that's when it's just too far. Okay, so again, I understand and I share that same passion that Mellody Hobson has when it comes to sports. So a little bit more about Mellody Hobson. So for Ariel Investments, okay, she is the president and co-CEO of Ariel Investments, a Chicago-based global investment firm. For public service, it says Hobson serves as the chairman of After School Matters in Chicago, and her advocacy, she is a strong advocate for financial literacy, same as me, and has appeared on various television programs and authored a book on the subject. And her influence, her leadership and business acumen have earned her recognition as one of the most influential people in the world by Time magazine. Again, I actually did a project, did a paper essay about 3 years ago on this woman for a college assignment. Again, she's just somebody that inspires me. Okay, I believe we have a lot of similarities. The fact that she grew up, well, obviously she grew up on the south side of Chicago, but she like literally like just started from the bottom. Now we're here. Okay, she went into finance, and she always is very passionate about teaching financial literacy, why it's important for the average everyday man and woman to understand finances. I feel the same way. So again, shout out to Mellody Hobson, shout out to George Lucas. Okay, and I would love for her to acquire the Chicago Sky. Again, currently the primary owner of the Chicago Sky is Michael Alter, the founder of the Alter Group commercial real estate company. He is joined by several other minority investors and partners, including WNBA legend Dwayne Wade and Chicago Cubs. What do you mean WNBA legend? You mean NBA legend? Who wrote this article? Dwayne Wade and Chicago Cubs co-owner Laura Ricketts, who are part of an investment group that purchased a stake in the team. So again, right now, Michael Alter is the majority owner. I believe that Angel Reese and Mellody Hobson have somewhat of a relationship. At least I would like to believe that, right? And people said that they actually saw Mellody Hobson and George Lucas speaking to Angel Reese at the end of that game. I forgot who we were playing against. It was Chicago Sky versus maybe the Washington Mystics or Connecticut Sun. I'm not sure. But again, I actually believe if Mellody Hobson was to actually acquire the Chicago Sky or just become the majority owner, right? She'll still have co-investors and co-owners of the team. I believe Angel Reese would have a huge incentive to actually stay a Chicago Sky player. And I believe with Mellody Hobson's vision and her investing, because again, like she loves sports, but she really wants to invest in women's sports. I believe that she would actually, give the team what they need. Again, we already know that the practice facility is still pending, right? It was supposed to be completed by December of this year, but now they're saying it's going to be completed now spring of next year, spring of 2026. So at least we got the ball rolling. But I believe with Mellody Hobson being the majority owner or co-owner of the team, or just acquiring it out, full out, I believe that she would actually pour into and nurture and baby this team into what they need, and actually be able to obtain and maintain basketball talents, right? Such as Angel Reese, such as Camilo Cardoso, etc., etc. Again, I would love this so much for them. I love this so bad. I love Mellody Hobson down. I love Angel Reese. I love Chicago Sky. And I believe if Mellody Hobson was the majority owner, Angel Reese, of course, being a young black woman, having that having the majority owner of the team being an older black woman who's very wise, very wealthy, does great for herself, just literally started from the bottom, such as Angel Reese. Again, Angel Reese was, at one point she was, no offense, but like a nobody, right? She was just that girl who went to, St. Francis in Baltimore, Maryland, private Catholic school, who played basketball, right? But she literally just built herself up and her image, her name, and her likeness to what it is today. Same story, pretty similar to Mellody Hobson. Again, I think it would be a fantastic idea and, just a positive thing for all parties involved for Mellody Hobson to acquire the Chicago Sky. But again, guys, comment down below your thoughts on Mellody Hobson, the rumors swirling around about her possibly acquiring the Chicago Sky or becoming the majority owner. Again, I would love it. I think it would be a great idea for not just Angel Reese, but for the entire Chicago Sky team organization.